Welcome back to High Five Garage. This is part 2 of disassembly on the Type 4 1.7 liter for our Volkswagen bus. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, heads are coming off. We got to check the jugs and the pistons and stuff. So, and then we can do push rod tube seals. We can reseal a few things, and then this hopefully will be a good motor. All right, it's another day, and I want to get these heads off. I'm gonna really quick see if it turns over for some reason, since putting the oil in it. But either way, the heads are coming off. So, yeah, same thing as a regular VW motor. You got some on top. Maybe these? I don't know what these go to. And then the actual rocker arms, there is a little wire holding in something. I'm not sure why it's there, but it's there. And I'm gonna watch how I take it off because that's new to me. And I gotta take that wire off because the rocker arms have to come off to pull the heads. It almost looks like you can almost get around them, but either way, they're coming off. The nuts that hold on the rocker arms are 10s, and then actual stud nuts are 14s. So should be pretty easy. Let me see if I can get this little spring out. Watch out, Burbosh. Not even sure how these come out. So it looks like it sits inside a groove here. So pop that out. There we go. So it pops into the groove. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, and then it goes underneath where the push rod is. And then it looks like it hooks back into the groove, I think. On the other side, yep. Okay. Come on. Gimme. Yep, and then that hooks into the groove there, so that keeps everything in line, I'm assuming. Okay. Bam. And that is how it comes out. These ends want to come off, so everything kind of compresses when it goes onto the studs. So, and I want a place to also to put a piece of tape to mark where it goes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick some baling wire through, you know, where the studs would go. You could probably use bolts, you could use whatever. But a little bit of baling wire through there, loop it together, and then now the whole assembly is not going to fall off. Then you can put some tape on the non-greasy parts and put where they go. 1, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, then make yourself a little diagram and pull out the push rods and put them in that diagram. Technically, push rods wear as far as the motor goes, unless you're using, of course, new push rods, all new valve train, stuff like that. But in this case, we are probably going to reuse everything. So, pull them out, make sure there's no oil in them, drain them out if so. Huge push rods, by the way. Biggest push rods I think I've ever seen. Okay. Now it's going to be this way. Side's dirty. Side's really dirty. It's interesting. Gimme. Okay. Last one. Wow, yeah, these ones are dirty. Okay. And when you reinstall them, clean them, spray them out, make sure there's no gunk in them, because oil does travel between them. Okay, now we can start loosening the heads. Okay, everything is out except for these two, which I don't know if they're holding it in, but we're gonna find out right now. Just a little pry. Seems like it's coming, so I don't know what those are. We're gonna find out though. Seems like it's just holding up on the push rods, or on the push rod tubes. That's what it feels like. I think, unless these are holding something in. No, there's no way, because they go like into the pistons. Wow. You'd think it'd just come right out, but not so far. Let's see, unless I'm forgetting something. Okay, the reason they will not come off is there is something on the bottom holding it. I'm assuming like a plate for like air. So what I'm gonna do, I need to get an engine stand for a Volkswagen. I really do. I'm gonna put it to the edge. I'm gonna get the 10 mil out of there, and looks like just a flathead. Wow, the studs go all the way through. That is the weirdest thing. Huh. Might just be one flathead. Let's try it. So I'm taking out these two tin screws, and I think that will allow the head to come off. I'm not sure if those are accessible with those pushrod tubes in, but I'm gonna try on the other side and let you know. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, it's loose now. Ugh. Nasty. Ugh. This thing was running rich, and it had water in it. Wow. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try to get a better video of it. It's just tons of stuff in it. Ugh. Hopefully the motor's okay. We'll see. This is the tray, whatever air distribution tray that sits underneath. So assuming there's one on both sides. This was the part that was catching on the head. I think you're supposed to be able to take out those flatheads, so I'll probably end up bending that back and putting it back in when everything gets reassembled. So those two screws holding on that shield are accessible from the bottom. So take those out, loosen the head, and then everything will come out. Okay, let's see how this one comes off. Probably a little pry. There we go. Okay. Okay. I think same thing. Now the push rods are gonna stick a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. This one's a little more difficult because, well, that the oil cooler's in the way. Also helps when you know what you're doing. Okay. Oh, there's that single screw as well. So there's 3 screws. Ugh. Forgot about that. There we go. Forgot about that one. Okay. Got it. And this one's even smaller than the rest of them, so bam. Okay. Now it'll come off. Or not. It's coming. It's a freaking plate. All the shroudings always end up getting in the way. Okay. Yeah, it could be the washers too, because I didn't take out the washers, or they wouldn't come out. There's one. Let me see if they're loose really quick, just to make this a little easier. Bam. Got another head. And bam. That's interesting. So it's almost like you need to lay the head into it and then push it in. Okay. This one's in a little better shape. You can tell water got into it as well, but that one looks a lot better. There's the second shield for the bottom of the heads. So this side, which is the driver's side, you can see definitely in a lot better shape. Hopefully the other one is as well. Hopefully I can really quick just hone it out and it'll be fine. There's just a lot of gunk in them. Looks like on the pushrod tubes, the bigger side is the head side and the smaller side is the block side. So I'm just gonna wipe out what is in here. Let's see what condition this one is in. Definitely not bad on this side. You can tell there's a little bit of ovaling. You know, just a typical flat motor thing. A little bit of buildup on the top. Pistons look like they were just rich. Okay. Okay, let's flip it to the other side. Okay, this is the nasty side. Looks like a lot of water and gunk got into this side. A lot. I am actually kind of glad we didn't turn the motor over. Yeah, that's pretty bad. A lot of gunk. Pistons are just as bad. I think I'm just gonna vacuum that. And then this one, just a lot of buildup. Yep, definitely had water sitting at the bottom because it's pretty rusted. I'm glad we didn't just try to start this motor. Okay, so I really think this motor was in great shape before it sat, which is very unfortunate. This side looks fine, but this side is rough. Well, the pistons do come free from the jugs, which is good. At least this one did. Let's see what this one does. You know, I'm just being gentle, not being crazy about it. Yeah, this one's not having fun. Let me just try flathead. Oh, there is a gasket right there, so I need to look out for that. Let me try to pry up against the bolt. That one's actually pretty locked. But that one's also got like deeper corrosion in it as well. Wow. Okay. Well, this one doesn't want to go loose. Okay. Good news. Motor turns now. Thus, that means the bearings should be fine. It was just seized up on the cylinders. It's locked into this one, so I gotta loosen it. But that's a good sign. That means hopefully the bearings are perfect on this thing. Finally got this piston to move. So this was definitely the piston that was causing the locking of the motor for sure. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna junk these two jugs and I'm gonna put these two jugs on. These are off the motor that blew up, but they're in pretty good shape and they're correct. Well, I'm gonna mic them out to make sure they are correct, but even like this one, it's a little messed up, so I don't want to use it, but these two are in pretty good shape. I want to mic them, and I'll still do a quick hone through them. But yeah, those will come off, those will come off. I'll re-hone them, I'll check the rings, maybe put a set of new rings on them, and then slap the motor back together with new seals. As for the heads, I'm either gonna disassemble them, clean them, see the condition and put them back on, or we might have an extra one that I could use. There's a couple heads in there. I'm not sure on the condition of them, but I know the passenger one was pretty good, but the driver one was pretty rough, or vice versa. I think yeah, passenger was bad. Driver was in better shape. I can clean that up. So see, got all these head choices. It's weird because this one's got a plug here, these ones don't. This one doesn't have that bolt right here at all. This one's got a weird nut right here, or a weird hole right there. They're like the same but different. So I got to thinking about it and realized that neither of the motors, the one in the bus or the one I've been disassembling, kind of my extra motor for it, have any exhausts. And I mean like almost any pieces. I got one little elbow maybe. And I got permission from the past owner that we got the bus from to go back out there and look for the rest of the parts for the bus. Last time we brought Tyrus both times. Today we're gonna bring Turbo. What do you think of that? Yeah, me too. So we're going back out there. It's a long drive, but it's worth it. We are gonna look for all the exhaust pieces and hopefully a starter, because we didn't get one. So hopefully we find it and that's the one that goes to our bus. And yeah, all right, I'll keep you guys informed. Okay, we did our first gas station stop. Turbo did the do, and she went pee-pee. So now we're gonna keep heading out there. She was worried in the beginning where we were going, but I think she's getting excited now. Definitely a lot more green out here than last time. What do you think, Turbo? Don't go too far, okay? All right, right away, watch out, Turbs. I'm gonna check in this bus and see if any of the exhaust is in here. Right away. We got seats. Those are nice little panels. Kind of cool. Now that I'm going through the bus, I'm like, interesting stuff. So it doesn't look like anything up front. There's definitely something in the shed. Probably the big old bird. Let's look in the back. I bet. Oh, you taking a poop? Taking a poop. Bet everything is in the back. Let me see if I can get this open. Okay, back opened right up. Gotta be careful. This one hasn't been opened in a minute. Okay, looks like we got AC compressor, maybe a mount for it. Oh. Whole another ECU thing, harness, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I actually don't see it in the back of this. Let's go look at this one. I remember there being a lot of heads in this one. So maybe they put the exhaust in here as well. Okay, there's some dual port heads. Distributor, caps. Going P again, Terps. Seats are in okay shape. Okay, seats are down. I don't see anything in that one. Okay. Let's go look in the shed where we got the motor. I'm gonna be careful though. There's turbo. There was a nest. And I want to make sure there's nothing in it. Okay, unfortunately, me and Turbo could not find almost any exhaust. I found one piece, one of the headers, and it was sitting next to an engine hoist. So who knows where all these things are. So we're gonna be looking for an exhaust. It's time to head back home, hunters. Okay, back to work on this motor. I think hopefully I sourced an exhaust in town, so that is awesome. What I'm gonna do is label the jugs and get them out and start to actually look at them and see how bad they are. Good way of labeling something is to do kind of a ping on it, you know, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. Do an actual dot. Something like a small, let me see if I can focus, little dot. It'll focus. Nope, won't focus. Okay. And then like 2 dots. And then you'll know, you know, what cylinder it goes to. Be careful because I'm pretty sure these can probably break off really easy. That's why I did it really close to the jug. But also don't do it here because that's where it seals. Okay, let's take the pistons out, take the jugs off, and see what condition they're in. As you can see, jugs are pretty bad. I'm not sure how much these can be like honed out. This side is in great shape, but that side's so bad. And then also, obviously rings, really good on this side, and then just nasty on this side. Doesn't look like the piston's too bad, which is good. The whole block is torn apart. At least the jugs are out. Obviously, jugs are, at least on this side, pretty messed up. Pistons are in okay shape. I think some new rings would do well. Clean up the pistons. But I want to show you something. So this block, this was the extra block that we got that we think came out of the orange bus because of all the orange tins. No verifying that, but that's what we think, is a CB block, which means it's a 1.7 liter. The block that was in the bus, not bolted in, but in the back seat, so, or in the back whatever area, I would assume went to this bus, who knows, once again, is a GD block, which means it's a 2.0 block. All the jugs and pistons I got out of the back of the block. I thought they were all the same. Of course, without miking them or looking closely, you'd never know. The completely messed up rod, piston, and, well, this jug are 2.0 pistons and jugs. But the rest of the pistons and jugs are from a 1.7. So pretty much, we'll never really know what happened to this bus or all these motors. They're so randomly put together. Even like, I can't see it on these ones, but these ones are different pistons. these pistons are out. They're not dished, they're whatever out. These pistons are in. There's another piston over there that's different. It's actually in, but it's deeper than this one. Either way, I was worried that we did not have jugs for this 1.7 now, because it was a 2-liter that came out of the bus. Well, it came with 1.7 jugs now. So the plan is, really quick, hone this jug that came out of the bus and that jug that came out of the bus. Pretty much make those 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are still good, but I'll give them a quick little hone. Put new rings on all the pistons and clean up the pistons as long as I don't find any issues with them. And then from the research I've done on all these extra heads, obviously the dark ones are the heads that came from this motor, which is a 1.7. These extra heads, did some research, these should be 1.7 heads. Now, I don't know if it's good, bad, whatever, to put a 1.7 in that bus, but I mean, horsepower wise, it's not that big of a difference. And you know, I think technically you could just put like dual carbs on it and turn it up a little bit and it would do just as good as a 2.0. At least that's my opinion. We will see. It might be luggy, who knows? But that is the plan, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So that's the plan, that's what I'm gonna do. Hone out the jugs, take the pistons off the rods, label them, clean them, piston rings, put it back together, clean the heck out of the block because this thing is nasty. Switch out flywheel and clutch assembly for automatic torque converter and adapter plate thingy, and put it in and see if it runs. Let's take out the pistons. I always mark the top of the piston. What I'm gonna do is once it's actually out, I'll make some marks inside of the piston to say what piston it is and what is top. There's probably marks on here that say it, but I like to do it just in case. But to take out the piston, I think it's called a wrist pin, but there's a little C-clamp in there. Not C-clamp, but a little C-ring. And you just undo those and it'll come right out. I've got these little pliers things. I mean, I've got a lot of them. But go in there, grab both the circles, and hopefully get that clamp out. I got this piece of metal to hold the piston up. And then I'm gonna get my 18. I'm gonna leave this in the piston. I'm actually gonna hit it until it's pretty dang close to the edge so I can just slip it on. So I can still clean the piston, but this is still for this piston and it won't come out. Okay, and then you can see that little dot I put, that stands for number 1 and top. Now the piston can get cleaned and I know the way it goes back in. Okay, I'll rotate the motor around and get the rest of the pistons out. Now that everything is out and labeled, I might as well take this clutch flywheel assembly off because we're not going to be using it because ours is an automatic. Then a few more things. If you just want to do a full kind of reseal without opening up the case, you take the oil filter little housing off, maybe the one that has the fill tube. Besides that, besides like oil pump and stuff, that's really about it on these motors. Looks like there might be a seal here. Definitely doesn't look like it was leaking, which is nice. That's probably not that hard of a seal to replace if I wanted to. Just like any other clutch flywheel, you got some outer bolts and then some inner bolts that actually bolt to the crank itself. So I'm just going to zip it off. Give me a second. With the auto, it's got this plate and then the torque converter goes to it, and they are these star 12-point looking thingies. So I'm going to take that off of this blown block, and just so we have it and I can clean it up so it'll get ready for the other one. So you've got this adapter plate instead of a flywheel. The only thing I have noticed, it's 5 bolts, it's got a dowel, so definitely the same. There's shims inside, and I want to see if they are the same. I'll test them and see how thick they are. You know, maybe the auto needs a different clearance than the manual, but I'm gonna take them out and check. So each block had 3 shims. This is from the good block. These are from the bad block. I really quick mic'd them, and they're identical. I don't think these have to do, obviously, with flywheel, clutch, automatics. I think it's just the clearance on the motor. So got lucky here, they're identical. So I will just slap the original ones back into this one and we'll be good. So now just order some parts and wait to put this one back together. We'll just wait. I'll clean it all and put it all back together at the same time, but buy a gasket set, buy some rings, and yeah, we'll put it back together and clean stuff. A lot of cleaning. But that's gonna have to wait till the next video. Hope you guys are enjoying this bus content. Being I've never messed with one of these motors before, it's been a learning experience for sure. So stay tuned for the next video. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz really helps out. And stay tuned for more content. High five out.